titties and that.
I think because I hit record on that, so I think sucking titties is the first part that's just gonna pop up on this one. That I disappeared and I'm sucking titties. Oh, that is hilarious.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. Well, Monumental Mindsets, episode 7, baby.
Yes,
Episode
sir.
7 officially, because last time we introduced number 6 as siete, and it was supposed to be number 7. So, Cies was. Look at me trying to fucking say Spanish. I don't even fucking know it.
Yeah, I don't know Spanish anymore. I forgot. Too much for
So yeah, episode 7. Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Episode 7, man. Cheers.
Been a
Oh,
while.
we got to do a cheers actually. So we got to do. LMNT gave me this nice first edition package right here, and you got the
I got
4 egg yolks that are about to go down
4
your
egg
throat. So funny. Well, LMNT, cheers, LMNT, cheers, brother.
Cheers.
To
like
episode 7,
usually I
man.
do 3 yolks, but 4 yolks is gonna be a challenge for me.
Well, it was heavily requested today for 4 yolks.
Mm-hmm. I was like, having a better time.
He said, Dude, you just chugged like I think they're like 8 grams of protein. So you just chugged like 32 grams of protein in like 3 seconds.
Right, baby, that's how you keep the meat mortars bucked, baby.
That's how we do it, baby. We got to keep those meat mortars in check.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I did a little bit of studio upgrading over here. I brought those sound panels back from when I was making music.
That's nice.
And I got I got 2 more. Check it out. Oh, you want to see my dick?
I see your dick.
Got 1 there and I got 1 there. So she's all ready because I had like 4. I had 4 of them like laying downstairs, and I've been meaning to bring them to the office still to set them up. So when I do like a podcast out there, and then yeah, I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, what if I just bring them upstairs? Because I have like a lot of echoes inside of here from the windows.
Yeah.
And like all like the kind of how like the areas like it like drywall everywhere and stuff. So I was just like, man, I wonder if I like brought those diffusers up here, if it's gonna dampen the sound. And I tell you what, dude, like I completely noticed a difference like right away. Like I put them up and I was going like bah, 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 and like checking like the noise, and like you can definitely hear like an acoustic difference.
Really?
Yeah, it's wild, man. So like I remember like when I used to like make music like way back in the day, I was like it first started out in the closet, and I had like a lot of clothes like inside the closet, and I put like the microphone like right in between all the clothes, and like this would be like a good like diffuser for like all the sound. So it came out pretty decent. But then like when I started upgrading the microphones and upgrading like the headphones and stuff, you can really hear like all these hisses in the back, and you can hear like you can hear all the echoes and all the vibrations and stuff. And before, and then like we moved to like Algonquin, and I had the basement, so it was like all concrete downstairs. I don't know if you remember, if you were down there when I showed you the studio. I think it was still concrete. And then then I started like looking for like acoustic treatments and stuff, like when we put the drywall up downstairs, because it was just like so echoey. And I put these up, man, and it was just like, what a difference. Like the amount of like echo that you hear. Like if you have headphones on right now, you would hear like this big echo from your walls and stuff. But like now it's just like you put these up and it's like almost nothing. I mean, it's significantly less. It's not almost nothing because there's only 4 up here. But if there was more, it'd be crazy.
Oh wow. High tech.
That's a hot take, baby. Hey, so where should we open this up at after the salute with the what's it called, the chicken sperms, or the chicken sperms that impregnated the chicken, and some sodium.
And I got some coffee right now.
Coffee, damn, let's go. This man's is red with coffee and chicken eggs in that belly.
That's right, baby. It's got a nice workout, little Stairmaster. Get the glutes and the core moving.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
Barker's getting wild tonight.
All right. So we're gonna have featuring Barker again, baby. What's up, Barker?
Full energy right now.
Because you left him for a couple hours. He's like, "Where you been?"
But yeah, it's what was the episode 7 right now, ain't it?
Yeah, episode 7. So where should we open this bad boy up at?
That's a great.
What's new in GPT world? What's new anywhere?
Yeah, let's talk GPT a little bit, huh?
GPTs. So there's actually this thing that I've been kind of playing with. So it's not from OpenAI, but there's like a new AI.
Yeah.
That's kind of come out recently. There have been these things before, right? But this is like the most recent one that I know about, and you can actually do like prompt engineering. So like you can literally put in prompts inside. I forgot what the website is. I wish I could shout it out right now, but you can put these prompts inside of the website, and you can say you can input lyrics inside of there if you want to. But like for like now, we're going to talk about like how this AI, dude, like literally within 30 seconds, you can say, I want a Blink-182 song, sounding song. I want it like I Miss You, and I want like drums from a different song, like Adam's song or something. Like it'll take all those things from like the guitar. It'll take like and then so I don't know about the voice though, because I didn't play around too much with like the lyrics and the voice. But then you can start inputting your own lyrics, and you can say, I want these lyrics inside of the song. And then within 30 seconds, bro, it literally, so I forgot which one that I made, but I made this one that was like Lady Gaga, like voice. And then I did like some crazy, like atmospheric sounds, and I was blown away. And I just put in like a couple words or whatever, like that I was writing out before.
Yeah.
And, it took the lyrics, it made them like these high quality vocals, and then it like took all the atmospheric sound that I was explaining inside of there, and then it took a lady's voice and made it to the tune of like Lady Gaga. And I was like, holy shit, in 30 seconds too, man. So and then I was playing with it to do like electronic music, so you can do a Fred again style, like heavy EDM, like dark techno or something like that. And then within 30 seconds, like this thing just spits out like this crazy song. Like I'll find it later and I'll send it to you, because it's kind of fun to play with. But what it is like it really highlights like how fast like GPTs, like in general, like that you can prompt these things and you can make them spit out something crazy, right? Something crazy, but not only crazy, but creative, right? Mm-hmm. And these things like have this I know that people are like, oh man, like that the technology is so far away from being perfect. But if you look at like the landscape of like, let's just say music right now, right? Mm-hmm. Like just in the 70s, right? People were just discovering how to like make these crazy rock tunes in the 70s, right? Because before that, there was like, the Beach Boys, and there was like, the Beatles and stuff like that. And they were, good songs respectively, like for their time, but like they weren't, like music has progressed since then so much. And I think it's really crazy, like how these things couldn't, make Will Smith's like fate. Remember I sent you that video of Will Smith eating the fucking spaghetti, and it's like really disgusting. But I think it's crazy how now this thing can just spit out these crazy, unbelievable images, like the ones that you're making in the GPT.
Yeah.
And like these unbelievably like detailed images. And like this music landscape is kind of like, it's really fresh, it's really new, but it's like, it's crazy creative. And I really think that it's kind of like one of the it's not scary, right? But it is scary in a sense, right? Because if you're looking at like how much more that it can progress, like if people keep playing with this thing, how much further this thing is going to be able to progress, if you give it 5 years time, right?
Right. I mean, like you said, like the Chat GPT, I've been using a lot for monumental mindsets with the images and like quotes and stuff, but also for Calm INT as well, right? All the images and stuff for that. Even like the logo is made on there. So like it's crazy how much more work and creativity you can get out of that stuff as opposed to like, a couple of years ago when none of this really existed the way it does now, right? And you can do so much other things too. Like when I was at the meal the other day talking about like potential business ideas and stuff, we're playing around with like the math, like the math stuff on it, like having it solve like these complex math problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember back in the day using like Wolfram Alpha to like solve math problems, but this Chat GPT will like solve the problems, explain it step by step, and make the assumptions as it goes. I'm like, holy shit! And it's kind of crazy how powerful it is and how like quickly it can solve such a difficult problem because it just has so much data in it now, and it's only going to progress over time with more and more data, and it's going to be able to like it's gonna be crazy when this stuff like takes over a lot of like jobs and that's not really essentially gonna take over jobs, but it's a new skill you're gonna have to know to like be competitive in the marketplace, right? Whether you're running your own business or working for a business. I mean, this stuff like you're so much more productive, so much more creative, and it's just such a helpful tool. But it's scary at the same time because it's so powerful.
Yeah, and for like businesses, right? Like for what we do, like it gives us a lot of time back, and I think that this is one of like the most I think that this is one of the biggest things that I think a lot, I guess like if you're in a different industry than me, like I can understand why people would be afraid that it's going to take your job. But I think if you learn it and your job is going to start implementing this inside of the job, and you can just demonstrate skills, right? Like if you can be like an early adopter to this thing, and you can understand where the GPT landscape is moving, where OpenAI is moving, if you can understand like where, Ryzen and AMD and all these people, like, if you can get ahead of the curve, then I think it could benefit a lot of people too, because then that means like you have a separate skill set that your company is about to implement inside of the business, and you already know about this thing. That's just for like Gen Pop. And me too, right? I'm fucking Gen Pop too. Like for like my business, right? Like it gives me a lot of time back. So when we have to do like when we're doing things like creating sales rules for people, or when we're doing like standard operating procedures, right? Like all I have to do is ask ChatGPT, like, hey, how would you structure standard operating procedures for like a cleaning company or something, right? And then it gives me a full list of like 10 details that or like 10 things, and then I can just ask it to elaborate on these things. And I didn't have to go searching through the internet for these things. I didn't have to go read a whole bunch of articles and try to understand. And don't get me wrong, right? Like you should understand these things that GPT is like spitting out at you, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is like you can develop a framework so quickly, whereas to like before you would really have to think about all these things, and it would take you days, sometimes even weeks to get these things done, right? But then all of a sudden, like Chat GPT is just spitting these things out at you at like lightning fast speed, and all of a sudden like you're quantum leaping through the fucking these writing things down inside of Google Docs so you can have them. And they're just like fast things you can implement. So it's like that's what I mean by like this thing giving you a whole bunch of time back.
No, it's crazy. Like it just not even if you don't use like that information directly, you just the ideas it bounces off. It's like having like a superhuman, like just spit out all this crazy stuff at you, like data or just ideas, and like it's like you can brainstorm with Chat GPT, and
Mm-hmm.
come up with these ideas, whether it's images, whether it's a business plan, website, whatever it is. It's just
Right.
it just it's crazy, and it's like something I use every day now. Whether it's creating images, creating posts or whatever it is. It just makes me think a different way because sometimes I like think of something in my head and I can't explain it the way I want to. I
Mm-hmm.
type it into Chat GPT, shoot that out a certain way, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was trying to say in my head. It's just such a powerful tool. And I
Yeah.
think going forward, I think you're gonna have to learn the skills of using this stuff. Even now, like I'm making the website for CalMind, using
Shout
that.
out to CalMind T, baby.
Yes, sir. CalMind will be coming soon, few weeks for the first release. So,
Let's go. I'm pumped. I
yeah,
can't wait.
yeah, I'm pumped, man. It's been fun. So in a few weeks, the website be up. We'll be releasing the teas and everything, and it'll be good to go, man.
There's a there's a on chat on OpenAI. There's a Wix plugin, so you can actually go to Wix,
Mm-hmm.
and so just like hot mods. So if you go under like where there's all the GPTs that other companies have made, you can see the ones that OpenAI made, and then you can see the ones that other companies made. So Wix actually has their API or their language model, like they have it plugged into OpenAI, so you can actually write prompts inside of there. I don't know if you can connect your website through there, because that would be cool. Like if you can connect your website through there and then put in the prompts through ChatGPT and then it spits it out to your website and it publishes it.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I don't know if it does that, but I know that they do have a plugin on OpenAI that you can, and I think you can work on your website through there, or maybe copy the code or something, and then it'll make you like headers if you want, or it'll make you like all those things.
Nice. Yeah, man.
So
I just got the Wix thing yesterday and been playing around with it and creating a website. And it's got like a little like AI built in there, like with the template design of the website and things. So it's been a cool learning experience because I've only worked with websites a little bit in my kind of learning as I go.
yeah, so there's this really cool thing with ChatGPT too that I want to talk about, because it's like a little bit of it's kind of a little bit of like a mind fuck, right? And what I mean by that is like, so if anybody hasn't like noticed out there, whoever is going to listen, but like if you haven't noticed, like there's like this there's a new update for ChatGPT, and it actually will start memorizing all of your. So you actually have to prompt it. So I was doing like reading into the settings or whatever. So you can actually go into your into your OpenAI, go into the settings, and then there's this thing where now it'll start to memorize all the important information for you that you tell it, right? So if you say like, if you start saying like, hey, I'm interested in the CIA, undercover intelligence agencies, like, Operation Bluebeam or whatever, and you start talking to ChatGPT about that, you can say like, hey, remember all of this because this is what I'm interested in. And then you can open a new thread, and then you can say, hey, ChatGPT, like, what am I interested in? And it'll tell you all the things that it remembers from that conversation. But I started to go through my old threads, and the ones that like I'm researching like the Emerald Tablet. I'm researching like higher frequencies and interdimensional beings or whatever. And I said like, hey, and I'm also researching things about like my wife's condition, so Hashimoto's disease, and so I told it to like memorize all these things about me. And what happens is in that new thread, you can say, hey, tell me all about me. And it'll say like, hey, Carlos, like your wife has Hashimoto's, and, you like to research a whole host of topics, and, you've written all these prompts, and you're, some kind of writer or something. And it'll tell you everything that you've already told it. And so you can take it even further too. And then you can say like, so this is my prompt to it. And it was, hey, remember everything from now on, because I want you to understand me more. And I want to be able to better communicate with you, and you to better communicate with me. And it literally says right under there, memory updated. And it says, okay, from now on, I'm going to take note on every conversation that we have so I can better engage with you. And I was like, that's fucking crazy. So this thing is going to be so tailored to the people now. It's going to, like, your GPT is going to be like the phone inside of your pocket. And whoever is going to be the first person that's going to, integrate ChatGPT with like, whether it's Google inside of their inside of the Google products, or whether it's like Microsoft, but they don't have like a big phone system. So it's either going to be like Samsung or it's going to be like Apple, right? And whoever, I think that's really who's going to dominate, the next 10 years after that, is when you can. But I think Apple's actually working on their own AI. So Siri is going to be its own AI at some point. But I think that that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like how tailored it's going to be to you. It's going to remember everything that you like weightlifting, you like sucking down 4 eggs down the esophagus. That, you know, like if I'm researching shit into like, you know, sodium, potassium, magnesium, chloride, boron, or whatever, like it's going to know that I'm interested in those things. And I'm going to be like, hey, give me some new information on those things. And it's going to spit me new information about all the things that I'm already interested in, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy because even now, like your phone, like here's everything you say, right? Like something I talk about, like I don't even type in my phone or search, it'll pop up on ads and like stuff like what the fuck, like it's crazy. Like these smartphones kind of like take all this data, and they collect so much data from like us talking, texting, searching on the web, and everything like that too. Where I think this AI stuff just taking it to the next level, and um, it's exciting but crazy at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like that whole data thing is like, you know, it's I guess like a long time ago, like, you know, nobody really could have seen this coming because nobody was really like focused on like the applications, right? Nobody was ever focused on like, if I use Facebook, they're going to be, you know, taking all the conversations that I had, and who knew that they were creating these large language models like that. But even further, right? Like like the engagement that you have on ads, like the things that you search up, they're all integrated inside of Google, right? Like who know that data was such a commodity, you know, back in the day, because nobody thought about it that way. And then all of a sudden, you know, all of a sudden, like your data is gold, right? Because they know how long that you engage with something. They know how long that, you know, you stay on a certain thing. I even heard this thing too, that like they face track through Instagram. And this is in the terms and conditions that like when you open up your Instagram and you click like, okay, accept, right? And you accept those terms and conditions, they say that like, you know, when you're on an ad or when like this is how the algorithm is tailored to, right? Because when you're on your phone and you have a different, like if I'm looking at, you know, big
facial expressions and stuff.
yeah, your facial impressions, yeah, exactly. So like, you know, if you're looking at like gym lifting girls, like, you know, lifting heavy weights and stuff, you're just like yeah, exactly, you're just like, whoa. And so it knows that, and then next time after it tracked your face, it gives you those things more because it knows that this is what you like to engage in. So this is also like the form of like, you know, this is Meta's AI, right? You know, this is Meta's form of AI. Open AI is like its own like kind of like prompt thing. Who knows what Apple is doing? But I think this AI thing is such an interesting. It's so interesting, and you know, I really I'm into it, right? But I want to get even more into it because like I love it so much. I think it's such a cool thing.
Right. Because right now I'm just using it to help me with like certain things like images, logos, and like some verbiage on some things. But there's so much more you can do with it, right? And it's right now I'm experimenting with the website stuff and all that too. So it's fun, man. And I think everyone needs to get it because at some point it saves you so much time. It's insane. Like I can have together a business plan in like 5 minutes. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
insane. Like for me to do a business plan like that would take me a week. You know,
In the mountains.
yeah, in 5 minutes you got a fucking at least like a great starting point, and then you can just kind of go from there. But it's crazy. It pulls all this market data. It pulls, just you can tell it basically how to like what you're looking for in your business, your goals, your whatever, and it's just there's your business plan. Fuck it, and you can tweak it here and there, but it gives you that starting point's the hardest part when you're making like something like that. So it gives you that like kind of like a template slash like semi-completed business plan, and you can take that and just tweak a few things and boom, you're done. So it's like I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's wild, man, because like, you know, it's like it almost kind of feels like what can it do? Like can't it do? Like at this point, right? Because you know, you can it'll give you like a hypothesis on something that like a scientist is pondering on based on like the current information it's been fed. It's already read, like, I mean, the inputs of this thing, like they know all the books, right? Like I was asking it to like critique my writing style, right? From like the songs I had written before and some of those things that I was writing for Monumental Mindsets. And I was asking it to, you know, critique these things. Parker's dog or the sloth. And but then I asked it, I was like, hey, I was like, can you give me like a writing style? I was like, how can I improve in writing? What can I do? And it was telling me like, you should tweak it like this or whatever. And but the crazy thing was like that it was recommending me to read books from like the 1800s, or like poetry from Charles Bukowski, or from like people that are not from the 1800s, but like from a long time ago, right? That are kind of lost in literature. And I think that that's crazy, because when you think about it, it's like, how much more does it actually know that we are only like scratching a little tiny minute piece of surface of it from? And I heard this crazy thing before that like somebody put in like some kind of like some math equation to like solve cancer, and like it had it right, and like, or it can do like really complicated taxes in like minutes, right? And I'm really fascinated to see like where it goes and how much further it's going to go, because like, and even right now, right, like they have this new I know we're on I know we're on like this GPT thing for a while now, but it's there's this new thing that's coming out too. It's called SORA, and SORA is like really interesting, man, because they have like a whole. You can start making videos off of this thing, and this is when the whole thing is going to change, right? Like I don't know if you've looked at like OpenAI's website, but like those videos that are at the header of it,
Yeah.
and like you can open up Sora and you can look at like 10 videos that this thing made by simple prompts, right? You can say like a dog running in the backyard with its hair, like not even that detailed, but it'll make like a 30-second video, a straight up 30-second video, 4K, high quality in maybe a minute, I'm pretty sure. But it's fucking crazy.
That is crazy, man. Is that part of like the Chat GPT, like the premium, or no?
So Sora is not available for the for general population right now. It's only available to like the engineers that work behind it for
Yeah.
now. But speculation is that once model the GPT-5 comes out, that Sora is going to be included in that. So that'll be for the people who pay for premium, like me and you.
Yeah.
Because right now, not everybody can make the images right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they'll probably, I would guess that they wouldn't make that free, right? Like I would guess that like, that the image creator and then the Sora is going to be like behind the paywall, and then just like the prompts or whatever, it's going to be upgraded to 4, and then you'll get those prompts. And then apparently ChatGPT 5 is supposed to be like stupid, like much more like smart than ChatGPT 4. Like the responses that you get are much more human like, they're much more curated to you because it's learning about you. And yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be really crazy.
That is crazy, man. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting, man. Like I'm I don't know, like I'm kind of like, I'm super geeky about like this AI stuff. So
Man.
it's wild. But hey, how is that that Sum 41 concert? Tell me about that. I really want to hear about that.
It was good, man. It was fun. We went out there. We had a nice dinner beforehand. Went to some 41 concert. Haven't been to one in a little while, but
Did they play like did they play some oldies, or they just played the final album front to back?
some oldies, some newies, and overall, it was a great show, man. It was crowded though. It was super hot in there and sweaty. Like I was just sitting there, and my lower back was like fucking soaked. It was so I like no airflow in there.
Really?
And we're just standing there and like just soaking it up. It was a good time, Um, it's probably the last Sum 41 concert I'll see because they're retiring. So it's a good time, man. Good time.
Nice. That's crazy. Yeah, I have this the Sleep Token. I have this coming up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. The 16th. Yeah, the 16th actually, out in Chicago, man. Like I'm fucking pumped for this show. Like
Yeah.
I'm so great. It's not even funny. Like I'm not like, for a long time, like I wasn't really like for a long time, like making music kind of like killed like the whole music vibe for me, because like I was really out of music for like a really long time. Like I couldn't like
Yeah.
really listen to it or get into it, because I was always like kind of critiquing it. I was like, oh, like that was they should have edited that out or something. But I gotta tell you, man, like there's something about Sleep Token that like it really, I don't know if you've like dove deep into them or anything, but like man, there's something inside of like that music, like that passion, that vessel, sings with, man, that is just like, it's so captivating. Like there's so much pain behind his voice,
Yeah.
and like it makes it so raw and so authentic, and it's just so beautiful.
I'll have to get into it some more. 'Cause I've been listening to some stuff. I grew up listening like Sum 41, Blink-182, Good Charlotte, like all that stuff, plus some like stuff my girlfriend's been showing me with the deep house and stuff like that. I like it. For me, it puts me in a good mood. It's like more positive and stuff. So now I got like music for a little bit of everything. You know, when I work out, I'm listening to gangster rap. You know, I'm a gangster.
Shout out to Busta Rhymes, baby.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes and all that stuff. Plus a little heavy metal. Depending on my mood, it's either like if I feel like a badass, I'm putting on the rap. If I, need to unleash some demons, then I put on the metal. So it depends on the mood there. And then this house stuff though, it's good. It puts me in a good mood. It's like this positive energy bumping through my speakers, because like I don't know the lyrics to any of these songs either, so it makes it. I'm just listening to like the beats and like just kind of zoning out. It's good stuff, man.
So I was just talking to Joanna about this, the same exact thing, like probably just like 2 or 3 days ago, and I was telling her the same exact thing because she's into like deep house music, and she's into like that, that kind of like that clubbish kind of like music, and I really was like when I was growing up, like I was always I was a secret like punk rock and metal lover. Like I really loved it, but like it was like more secretive because like, I was always like gangster rap till I die, baby. Like like I was the ghetto skater like back in the day, and but like recently I really did start getting into like this dubstep kind of like music and like deep house, and my favorite artist right now is actually Fred again. So I don't know if you've heard this guy, but I think you would love him. And so I posted him on the story actually today with what's it called, the LMNT drop, the box opening and stuff. And it was, so the song is called like "Leave Me Alone," and Milo loves it too. So I'm super happy with it. But it's really like deep bass, and it like hits you in like the chest and stuff. And and it's like, but like Baby Keem is like just like "Leave me alone, alone," and it's got like this rhythm to it, right? And and I think we were talking a little bit like these past couple conversations that we had off podcast, and like about frequencies, right?
Yeah.
And about how just changing like your internal frequency inside of yourself is really such an important thing, right? Because the frequency that you have inside of yourself, like this is like what you walk around with throughout the day, right? Or how you feel inside of the gym, or how you feel when you wake up or something. And I think like getting more into like the self-improvement area right now is like just realizing that we all operate off of like this frequency. Like our DNA is vibrating. Like everything inside of us is vibrating, right? Atoms, electrons, protons, neutrons, all these things, right? And one of the first things that like you hear Dr. Joe Dispenza talk about, or you hear Tony Robbins talk about, is the very first thing is like change your state, right? And the way that they try to like change your state is like they make you get up, and they make you jump around, and they play this music and stuff, and they make you just start dancing, right? And when you start dancing, you feel different, right? Because you can't be sad and be dancing at the same time. Right?
That's true.
And and this is why I think that like hip hop with like 808 beats, like I didn't understand actually what 808 beats were for like a really long time, but apparently it's just a certain frequency, right? And apparently the 808 frequency is like the love making frequency. So this is why like you hear it, you're just like, oh shit, yeah. Like when you hear like that deep bass in an 808 song for like a hip hop song or something, like you hear it and like you instantly feel different, right? And this is why I think like, and you talked about in like previous episodes, right? Like just changing the music that you listen to, and changing your state of mind through the music that you listen to is so important. And it really is, man. And like if all you're doing is like walking around listening to people like sad rap music that people want to kill themselves or whatever, like no shit that you're going to be walking around being like, fuck, life kind of sucks,
Right.
Like if you change it up and you start listening to like some deep house, or you listen to some Fred again, or you listen to something else, like or there's certain occasions for everything, right? Like metal inside the gym is good, and in the gym, like there's different occasions for everything, but just changing your frequency, on the basis of music is so important.
1,000,000%. Because ever since I've been listening to like this dubstep stuff, or not dubstep, deep house, um, it just puts me in a better mood because it's like the music's just upbeat and it's just put me in this good mood. As opposed to like in the past, I would always listen to sad, sappy music, and it's like I lost my girlfriend, I want to kill myself, cut my wrist. It's like, stuff like that. And you're like, you put that in your mind every day, even if it's like subconsciously like playing, right? And it's just like just going through your mind, and it affects like like you said, your frequencies, right? You put all these. Not only is like the music and like the instrumentals kind of like sad and like whatever, but like also the lyrics, right? You put all these words in your head. I'll put all these words in these negative words, right? And I think that's powerful in the music. You put all these negative words in your head, and it's just like it's gonna make you negative, right? And it's kind of like not to hate on like music nowadays. Most of it on the radio is just like I feel like dumbing down the population, but all they talk about is pussy, money, and whatever else, and you can't understand what to say half the time with the mumble
And
rap.
bitches. They talk about bitches.
It's like I don't know. For me, it's like the music and the lyrics, like combination, kind of affects your mental state, right?
Yeah.
More so like more so the music in that moment kind of affects your state, right? Because you talk about like your state affects like Barker. You've been playing with me for like the past hour. Or tired. But like yeah, changing your state, right? You get up, you move around, you dance, you get excited, blah blah blah. But then like also the lyrics in the music affect you like even subconsciously because you're putting in like either these negative words or these positive words or whatever you're listening to, right? You're putting these words in your head and it's just like on repeat. So like if you can focus more on listening to positive music, you're gonna be positive more often than not, right? And I've like I said, I used to listen to like super emo stuff. So like for me, it's been such a big change, just changing my music. Um, you know, so and also music. You kind of talked about like the different frequencies that help you like be more productive and more focused and stuff. I forget what it was called. I've been listening to like these binary beats or something on Spotify.
Yeah, the binaural beats.
Yeah, dude. At work, I get so productive, right? Like I get in the morning sometimes a little foggy and brain fog, whatever. But as soon as I put this like music on my headphones, dude, I'm so zoned in. It's crazy. I don't even know what it does to me, but it's awesome.
Yeah. There was this app that I was using. I'm not using it anymore. But it's the Brain FM, and they have like these different frequency. I don't know if you use that, but the binaural beats is pretty much like the same. It's a similar thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is like through like listening to beats in general, I think is really cool because you can it kind of puts you in like an altered state where like all you're doing is thinking about things, right? And you're
Right.
almost kind of like it's like internal journaling, right? Like it's much better to write it down like in your journal and like kind of like read it and then kind of go through your text and analyze it and stuff and figure out what the problem is. But I think that there is it's almost like a meditative state that it puts you in. And this is kind of like what binaural beats are, or like this thing called Brain FM, right? And this Brain FM thing was like, it was really interesting to me because like there was what they would do is you would put in your headphones, right? And they would play whatever kind of like whatever kind of, you could do like lo-fi, you can do like piano, you can do like atmospheric music, kind of like the I Empire. Remember how like I Empire had all these like gigantic crescendos, and they would have like these, they would hit the glass and stuff like on the Angels and Airwaves albums.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I messaged you that day, and I was like, man, Tom DeLonge and Critter, or that was We Don't Need to Whisper, but I was like, Tom DeLonge and Critter were fucking, dude, like 25 years, maybe not 25 years, but like they were so ahead of the times.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like it was misunderstood a little bit, like because when I started listening to Brain FM, and they were talking about how cutting edge like this stuff is, and there's like this whole CIA thing. It's called like the Gateway Experience, and how they would tie this into like a like astral projecting like your soul, right? And like kind of communicating with, like, I know it sounds a little woo-woo crazy, but like it's literally a fucking CIA document. And but you astrally project like your soul, and like you communicate with like these higher beings, right? And what they did to achieve this, like this state of mind, is they would put these these binaural beats inside of your head, and then they would have like different frequencies that hit you on different sides. And like one would be like 48 hertz, and the other one is like like the impedance would be it would be like 10 or 20 like hertz like difference, so it would be either be higher or lower. And the point of it is that you have one frequency in your left ear and you have one frequency in your right ear. And the main thing about that is that it's working, your left brain is working to try and figure out what is going on with like this frequency, and then your right brain is working at the same time trying to figure out what's going on with this frequency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's crazy because, like, when I would put these things on, when I would put like this, I forgot what the Monroe Institute is, what it is, right? They have this whole YouTube page. You can listen to these things for free. And when you put these things on, bro, and like they give you the commands, right? They tell you to like, like close your eyes, put all your worries and anxiety inside of like your chest and like lock it up and stuff. And then they would tell you to be like, okay, now repeat like this command inside of your head. And it's like, what's the most important thing you want me to learn? And then all of a sudden it goes a little bit quiet. And like, there's just like this ocean sound in the back. And you have this picture of where you feel safe and serene and like you're at serenity and peace, right? And you're just focusing on you being there, right? And it felt a little bit different than like meditations that I had done in the past, because for some reason I wasn't so focused on what I was meditating, like trying not to get these intrusive thoughts out of my head. I was literally just here at like my most calm place, right? And for me, it was like in Colorado on top of Black Canyon. And like, I'm literally just sitting there and I'm looking like down at Black Canyon, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what a beautiful sky, what beautiful mountains, what beautiful energy out here. And the crazy thing for this is like, for some reason, when I was doing like this Monroe Institute stuff, all I can picture was like me being there, and I'm in a different place, man. Like in my head, I'm in a different place. And I'm asking like this, I don't know, thing out there, right, that I'm trying to communicate with. I'm like, what's the most important thing you want me to know? And I see things, right? I see things like, when you record like music and stuff, like you have like these lines, right? They're called like they're the audio tracks. And I seen these lines of audio tracks, and I would see like these, like, I can't I can't really like remember what pictures I saw, but like I would see different colors and stuff, and then all of a sudden like the 40 minutes goes by like in a blink of an eye, and I'm just like, holy shit! I'm like, what the fuck just happened? It's crazy. I can't explain it, man.
I have to try that out, man. That sounds.
It's fucking crazy, man. And the fact for me that like the CIA was talking about this, like this, the Gateway experience, right? If anybody wants to look it up, it's a declassified, like from the CIA on the CIA website, and you can have it actually read it to you, which is what I did. And it's crazy that like, this was all like woo woo stuff like back in the day. Like if you talked about this stuff like back in the day, like you talked about aliens, like people would be like, yo, you're fucking crazy, man. Like what do you think is out there? Like we're the only smart, intelligent beings that exist in the entire universe right now. And I'm just like, are you sure about that?
Right.
And if you would question that, you'd be labeled as like a fucking crazy cuckoo. But now, that these things are being declassified, these things are being like a little bit more released. I think it's just, I think it's really incredible. One, but two, it's crazy that you can experience this shit for free. Like that's the craziest thing.
Right. And I remember being younger, like chasing aliens, chasing ghosts, and all that stuff too. People think I'm fucking weird, but like, it's like you said, man. There's something out there in the universe that's intelligent, not just us. It wouldn't make sense. And like you said, a lot of it's coming out slowly now because I don't know why, but it's coming out.
Dude, okay, did you know that it's actually from Tom DeLonge? I'm not fucking kidding. That's the craziest thing in the world. So when he made that To the Stars like Academy, I was kind of like, what is this thing? I'm like, he's showing all like these lieutenants and these colonels from like the military and stuff. But as more time goes on, the more people that like go on Joe Rogan's podcast, and like the more people that are like, you know, Jeremy Corbell's, and uh, you know, like all these people, and they say like, hey, they like, Joe, like, did you know that, or you know, whoever the guest that they're talking to, they're just like, did you know that, you know, or, I guess he asked a question one time, and he was like, how is all this stuff coming out? And they're just like, you know, a large part is to thanks to Tom DeLonge.
That's crazy, man.
It's wild.
Top punk star turned into alien declassifier, or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you know what's funny is like, you know, the way that he kind of described, Tom DeLonge kind of described the way that he got, like, he started to understand like what the plan was, and you know how people, you know, how he knew that there was aliens and stuff. He said he would read
Mhm.
books, right? And like all the information was in the books, or like all the information was in like the CDs or whatever that he was listening to, or cassette tapes. Like this is how he started to understand and put the puzzle pieces together. He's like, I just started reading all this crazy stuff, and he's like, then I got connected to these crazy people, and then he's like, then they started letting me get secret clearances and stuff, and I'm just like, what? This fucking rock star? He's like, he's the guy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, obviously, you know, I'm Blink-182 all over the place, but like, you know, I've been following Tom DeLonge for a while. And it's like the same thing, right? When he was young, he's chasing aliens and ghosts and all that too, right?
Mm-hmm,
Everyone thinks
mm-hmm.
he's crazy, and then now he's there helping, like you said, kind of let that information out and stuff, which is pretty cool. You know.
Yeah, and you're actually the reason why you and Chris are the reason why I got into like Blink-182, like and stuff, and then why I got into like Angels and Airwaves. Like I remember being in your, you had the Red Avenger first, and then you had,
Yeah.
and then you had the Tiburon. You had
Yeah.
the gray Tiburon back in the day,
Uh-huh.
and I remember like just blasting Angels and Airwaves like in your car on the way to school, and I was just like, I mean, like what a great like experience, like going to school blasting Angels and Airwaves like out of that car.
That music's amazing. Angels and Airways is like genius music, man. So good. The first 2, 3 albums, so good.
So good, so good. Like
Yeah.
Till Love Part Two, like
Yeah,
that's
Love
when
definitely went downhill.
yeah, then for me, like the music kind of like, you know, the Angels and Airwaves music kind of like fell off a little bit. They have a couple good songs here and there,
Yeah.
but I think like the prime, you know, Angels and Airwaves was that, right? It was like the We Don't Need to Whisper, I Empire, Love One, Love Two, like those were incredible albums.
I agree, man. I agree. Their last album they came out with was pretty good too, Life Forms or whatever.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to that one actually.
Everything in between was a little weird, wonky, but like it's decent. But like the newest album that came out with before you went back to Blink, fucking phenomenal.
The one with like the lady on the
The
cover.
naked lady that's like spread out like Jesus Christ. Not Jesus Christ, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Legs are out. I don't know.
It's the anatomy. I think it's like the anatomy picture in like what's it called? Like science, right? Like in biology, like they put the anatomy like around a circle and stuff like that. But I also think that can be like, you know, related to like an alien. Like he's probably like giving us like a little declassified thing, like how they
Form.
yeah, how they figure out how the human anatomy works and stuff.
Yeah, check out that album when you get a chance. Pretty good.
Yeah, man, that one day when you sent me that, you're just like, yo, listen to I Empire. I think you sent me I Empire that day. Oh my
Yeah,
God, what a great, I was like, I was in the living room cleaning. I'm just like jamming out. It was
dude, I am
amazing.
tired. Just the energy it brings you, man. It's just good feeling. It's a good album, powerful, like good vibes. It's just like really up,
Yeah.
you know, as opposed to like the usual music that's like Tom puts out. It's kind of like goofy and like you know, kind
Hmm.
of like whatever. But this one was like so inspiring, and it's good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Great word for it. Inspiring.
yeah, I Empire was like the prime album. We Don't Need to Whisper was fucking phenomenal. I Empire is like the one I can go back to the most and just be like, wow, this is so powerful and inspiring.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
So good. And then I think Love Part One is a banger as well.
Yeah, me too. I love Love Part Two too. Like I would agree though. I think it for me it's like I Empire, We Don't Need to Whisper, and then Love One, Love Two is the my
I would
favorites.
say
Like,
so. I would say about the same for me. Yeah.
yeah.
I would say the latest album. Then everything in between is kind of like mumbo jumbo for me. But like,
But you know, one of my favorite. So this is I don't know if it's like more related to like the time in my life, but Neighborhoods. Remember Neighborhoods? Like I'm sure you do. But what a great album, front to back, incredible album, right? Like it's like a top 10 album for me, like of all time. And I just remember like I think this was like, remember when we used to go to like Danny's like in his backyard and stuff, and we used to have like bonfires back there. And there's a picture of like me and you back there too. Like in I think it's Greg Nuvius too, I think was back there with us. Like us three have a picture together.
Yeah. Dude, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. Crazy time, man. Just fucking raging alcoholics.
Dude, I used to drink so much back then. It's crazy. You know, it's crazy to think about, like, even like a couple of years ago, how much I used to, even a year ago maybe, how much I used to drink compared to now, you know? Now I'm like maybe 2 drinks a week, maybe a couple here and there, like depending on what I'm doing, right? Like maximum maybe like 4 drinks a week tops, you know? That's like some weeks I don't do 0, some I do 2, some I do 4, whatever. But like I used to do, like, I get home from work, drink a beer, you know? And it's just like, I just like not relied on it, but like it was like part of my habit, part of my like lifestyle, just to drink. And it puts for me, right? It's when you drink, it puts your mind in like a different state, you know? It's just like you get in this depressive emotional state where you're thinking more emotionally instead of logically. And it's just, man, alcohol is not good for that stuff, man. I mean, like for me, I drink it more now for like celebration, or if I go out to eat with a girlfriend, or whatever. You know, it's just like more of like I'll have a drink, but I'm not gonna like drink by myself, right? I don't drink by myself anymore, and get stuck in my thoughts, stuck in my head, because that's where it gets dangerous, man. It's just like, wow, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. I was I will say I had an unknowing like battle with alcoholism, and like I didn't even know it, right? Because I was the same way, man. Like I would um like I would come back, like my drinking would I mean, it would start on like a Friday, but it would continue after, it would continue, like I would drink like a fucking 12 pack of Goose Island 312s like on Friday. I would drink like another 12 pack like on Saturday. Sunday I would recover a little bit, but I'd have like, 6 or 8 or something. Like, and that was like that was kind of like a typical like weekend. Like, and maybe I wouldn't do like, like that, but it was pretty close. Maybe it was like 10 on Friday, 10 on Saturday, and then 6 on Sunday or whatever. But then it would spill over into like Monday, and I'd be like, all right, I'll just have a couple beers like on Monday too, and then it would spill over into like Tuesday too, and like it was just like really all week. And like, but I was thinking the same way. Like now that I'm so this year I've been for the most part like pretty sober, right? Like I drank with Joanna's brother a couple of weeks ago. He came over and we had some drinks, but like this time like I was much more in control of it. Like that's a hard thing to say, right? Because like you're only in control up to the first beer, right? You can say yes to the first beer, and then the beer takes control. But like even when I was drinking, like I drank like maybe five or six or something like that, and I was like, all right, I'm done for the night. Whereas like before, I would drink like 6 before people would finish like 2. Like that's just how I was, right? Like, or even like when we go out to like the softball field or something, like I would have like 3 by the time everybody finishes like 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's just kind of like I don't know, like how I don't know, but like yeah, man, like but I was thinking like the same thing, like how you're operating from such like a again like a low frequency, right? Like you're operating from like this really like kind of like depressed and
Yeah.
emotional state, and and you don't even know where like this depression comes from sometimes, because you can have like an incredible day and all of a
Yeah.
sudden like one thing sets you off and you're just like, well, the rest of the fucking day is bullshit, because like now I'm in like you're not an emotional wreck, right? But like something's bothering you, right? And this is how I always thought about alcohol. Like I never like understood like why people get upset or angry or whatever, but it's just like this festering toxin inside of you, and like it just eats away at you, and the more you do it, right?
Please.
uh, like the more you do it, like the more the less time that you're able to like kind of get into like this like a different balance like inside of your body. like everything is just off, right? Like your gut microbiome is off, your brain is off, like your fucking blood sugar is off because there's so much sugar inside of there, and you're just not operating right. And there's a lot of people are just like, man, I operate the best when I'm drinking or whatever. Like I probably used to say that too, but I can tell you like now that this year that I've been for the most part pretty sober. Like I was sober for like 60 days. I think I took 2 months, and then I had my first drink, and then I've had one more drink since then. So I've drank like 4 times like the whole year. And I can tell you like, man, there's an enormous difference in like how I walk, how I talk, like how I feel, right? Physically.
Same, man. And congrats on that, by the way, because that's not easy to do, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because, like, I mean, for me, I used to drink alcohol all the time. I don't know if you remember, like, we used to steal alcohol from my parents' bar and, like, mix up.
Yes, I do.
Like a water bottle. So you had, like, 10 different liquors in a water bottle, and we're fucking throwing it back, chugging it.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, it's crazy that I used to do that. Now, like, there's no fucking way I can do that. But, like, it's a lot of people, you take out. I feel like alcohol is an escape from your mind, right? And it's just like, instead of like taking control of your mind, you're letting your mind control you, and just kind of avoiding your issues and all that, right? And I think in general, for the most part, like, people that drink a lot, go out to clubs, all about the girls and party. I think for the most part, they're like escaping their issues, right? And they don't have like that sense of purpose in their life. And all, like, I've been there, I had my crazy stage in college or whatever, it's just you're just avoiding all your real issues and like finding your true purpose in life, and you just don't want to address it, and you kind of like drinking alcohol to get your mind off it, and then you're going out and getting wild, getting crazy, avoiding everything instead of attacking it head on, right? And and I think in general, like there's obviously occasions where you drink for celebratory things and stuff like that. I'm not saying every time you drink you're escaping your issues. There's time, but when you're drinking every day, when you get home from work, like, oh, work sucks, like, like then you get even more like, man, what am I doing in my life? You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot, like, to go from that to now, like, you just feel so much stronger mentally, physically, and everything. Like, I walk around feeling so much more confident. I feel, good mentally, physically, and it's just, once you stop those bad habits and you take on the, healthy habits, you just feel so much better as like a person. I don't know how to explain it, but like, you're replacing these negative things and bringing in these, like, instead of drinking alcohol when I get home from work, now I'm fucking juicing cucumbers and beets and sucking that down. So, and my body's feeling so much better, so instead of drinking beer or whiskey when I get home from work, I'm juicing like cucumbers, beets, ginger, celery, lime, lemons, whatever I have, right? And putting nutrients in my body as opposed to poison, right? So I mean that one change alone changes a lot, right? And then also, I used to never freaking sleep. I sleep like 4 hours a day maybe, and I can still even do better because I don't get enough sleep. But now I'm getting like, sometimes 6, 7. Sometimes I get my 8 hours. So like, it's just improving your sleep habits too is such a big thing mentally, and just, I mean, your habits in general. I think setting your habits, like I know we talked about in previous podcasts, like find out where you want to be, your goals, your identity, and then find out the habits that align with that, right? And drinking, I hope, doesn't align with who you want to be, right? So it's like you got to eliminate that from your habit, and the occasional drink, I'm not telling anyone you have to stop drinking and never drink, blah blah. But like,
right,
you don't want to rely on it, for your quote unquote happiness or whatever, if it's to celebrate something. But like, just finding those habits that make you feel good and make you feel who you are, right? Like for me, it's being waking up, writing down things I'm grateful for, put me in a good mood. Working out to make me feel strong physically and just like, mentally as well. It helps me with everything, meditating and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been slacking on some of the mental stuff with the journaling and the meditation and stuff, but I'm starting that back up again. I'll be first to take accountability for where I am with what I'm doing, right? And I'm not gonna lie to myself and say I've been doing a good job with a lot of it lately, but you got to be strong enough to take accountability for when you're deviating from your goals, deviating from the path you want to take in life, right? And I know I'm starting to get a little deeper right now, but
No. Yeah, it's great.
it's like in the beginning of this journey with this monumental mindsets and stuff, I hit such a high. You get, like I said, you get comfortable. We talked about you get comfortable. You're like, I'm good, I'm strong and whatever. But then like you get kind of like content there, and you're like, yeah, I don't need a journal anymore. I don't need to read as much as I do. And then you slowly fall back without even knowing it, right? So I'll be the first one to take accountability for like I've been slacking on some of that stuff. It hasn't been completely gone, but I haven't been holding myself accountable daily to do that stuff. Have it be a habit, right? I mean, working out's been the one thing I'm consistent with and stuff, but it's that mental gym I got to keep on hitting, to keep myself strong mentally and keep myself moving forward and be that person I want to be. So, like, you just got to be able to take inventory and be accountable for your habits in your everyday life. And, don't lie to yourself and be like, everything's all right. I'm doing fine. No, you just hold yourself accountable, nail down those habits and do them, simple as that. And, have that discipline to do it, whether you want to do it or not. If it's, on the path of who you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. Beautifully said. Yeah. And it's like, you have to have like what your dream outcome is, right? Like you have to have like, this vision of yourself that you're trying to achieve, or this
Mm-hmm.
person that you're trying to catch, or, if you feel like you're behind or something, which, you know, I think like, for most people, like, for me, right, it's like you always think about like where you're not, but it's like, no, you're here, right? It's just like bringing yourself back into the awareness of like, hey, I'm here today. This is where I am. These are my circumstances, and this is what I got to play with, right? Because if I did something else, before, maybe I would be somewhere else right now, but that's not the case. I'm here right now. And you have to have like this, you really have to have like this vision dialed down for yourself, like this, whatever it is, right? If you want to get, if you're working at Starbucks and you want to work at like the Starbucks Reserve or whatever, right? Like the premium shop for like Starbucks, right? Like that's your vision, right? And that's okay, and that's great, because you have something that you're shooting for. You have something that you're aiming for. You have like this, you have this goal that you're trying to achieve. And then once you implement like all the habits that you're trying to once you implement all the habits that align with that, and once you implement all the traits that are aligned with that too, like you're going to get there eventually, and that's by, you know I would just like, tell myself first, right, but then tell other people too. Is just like, don't be so hard on yourself always. Be hard on yourself a little bit, because you need to get motivated, you need to get driven, you need to put your foot on the gas pedal to get where you're going to go, right? But you also have to have, just like you're talking about, right, you have to have your things aligned, right? You have to have your habits that can be stackable. You have to have, you have to develop new traits that are going to be stackable. And then, you have to have that vision of where you want to go. And once you get there, right, then you're going to find out a new thing that you want to do. You're going to find out a new vision that you want to do.
Right. Yeah, man. I think like we talked about, I think on even on the previous podcast, is having that why, right? Because once I have that why on where I want to go, it's um, nothing. Even though like I've been slacking lately on some of the stuff I've been wanting to do, I think back to my why and I'm like, shit, I need to get back on it, right? And then I'm strong enough to have the discipline again to be like, let's go, let's put in the work so I can get where I want to be. Well, if I didn't have that why, I would just continue to slack because why would I do it? It's just if I have no reason to do
Right.
it, I'm gonna do the stuff I don't want to do. Because in order to grow, you're gonna have to do stuff you don't want to do consistently, right? And then make it become a habit. So, and actually, I've been reading this book here. Can't Hurt Me.
Let's go. Can't hurt me, baby. David Goggins.
The Goggins. I just got done with chapter 2. I think chapter 1 there's like there's an activity at the end of each chapter. Chapter 1 is about like writing down what's holding you back, your insecurities, stuff that's holding you back from where you want to be and stuff. So that was kind of cool. But then right now I just finished chapter 2, and it's the accountability mirror. Right? It's like kind of same thing. Like take post-it notes, write down your goals, your insecurities, everything, and what you need to work towards, and put it on your mirror. So every day you wake up, you look at it, and you're just aware of it, right? And it's like, okay, I need to do this. I need this. So it's like a constant reminder. You're taking accountability for it, as opposed to just saying, oh, I need to do this, and it just kind of disappears. But like, um, having it there on your mirror, looking at it every morning when you wake up, you're going to be that much more accountable to it. So I like that idea. I never did anything like that. Try it out. You hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, the one
The fuzziness. Oh, it's gone now.
maybe that was my computer. My computer was just like the fan just went on, so maybe it was that.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, I really like the accountability mirror too. Like I like how I did it though. I did hear it first from like David Goggins, but then I didn't do that part. But I heard it from Les Brown,
Okay.
and I think he said to write it down on a piece of paper, but I actually wrote it down on my mirror, and it's still there, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to remind myself that every day. So his one of his phrases that he tells all his people in the audience to do is that it's possible, right? And he's like, no matter where you are in life, no matter what you want to achieve, he's like, it's possible. And I really like that phrase, and I wrote it down in my mirror because every day, every morning, like when I go in there, um, so I'm in the same boat as you though, right? Like I have to hold myself more accountable too, because I have been slacking on the gym. That's one thing that I have been slacking on a little bit. And I have been slacking on my waking up at 5 a.m. I still do it, but I don't do it every single day like I was doing at the beginning of the year. So I did it for 3 months straight, and then I didn't, and then I got sick, and then since then it's been kind of like an on and off thing. But I typically do it about 3 days a week now. Um, so I wrote down it's possible on the mirror, and I wanted to do that because like when I wake up in the morning and I go to the mirror, like the first thing I look at is myself, right? And the first thing that I want to be reminded about is like, hey, these things that you're chasing, right? Whether it's being Monumental Mindsets being the ultimate podcast of all time, right? Taking Joe Rogan's place or whatever, right? It's possible. And it is, right? Or anything, right? Building a big business, building, becoming a great curator of information, or whatever it is, right? It is possible. Everything is possible as long as you're willing to, put the work inside of that thing, and, develop the habits and the traits that align with that thing. Like anything that you're shooting for, like it's possible.
Mhm.
And, you know, that's why I really like that, I kind of forgot where I was going with this, but that's why I really like the "it's possible" thing and writing it on the mirror, because I'm reminded of it every single day. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like staring me in the face.
Yeah, and it's good to feed your mind that every day too, right? So it's possible, it's possible, it's possible. Then you believe in yourself, right? Because there's times where you doubt yourself. There's times where like things aren't going well, and you just need that constant reminder, like it's possible, right? I like I hear your computer pretty loud right now.
Oh, is it gone or no?
It's really loud right now.
It's still there.
Yeah.
The fan's not on.
There's something like fuzzy. Maybe it's a ghost.
It might be a ghost.
Hearing us conspiracies and we get out of here. Anyways, is it on and off? You don't hear it on your end?
No, it's still there right now.
Yeah.
Oh no, I hope we don't have no busted audio. Everything sounds good on my end right now. Like I restarted everything to make sure. Like
Yeah.
it just started right now.
It started like now. Now it's like gone. Now it goes and it comes back and it goes and it comes like it's weird.
Are you going to hear it now? Because my fan is about to start now.
I hear it.
You hear it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fan from my computer. I think something's working in the background. I don't know what it is.
Interesting. Anyways, I think what I was saying is like I like that, like just feeding your mind that you can do something, right? And just being strong, being resilient. Like, cause you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have good days, and just being like, I can do this. Like, for example, me and the girlfriend are working on, this LMNT thing, and it's like, we kind of work on a little bit, we kind of don't kind of work on a little bit. Then lately we've been like, let's do it. We just been working through it, and we're looking to release it in a couple weeks now. It's exciting. I would never thought I would be able to do this. The website, have products, selling it, blah blah blah. And it's just, I gotta thank her a lot for that, for bringing me on this journey, and me supporting her and what she wanted to do with her idea. So like all of it kind of came into place, and it's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, just put your mind to things and just keep on pushing through little by little by little. As long as you take little steps, right? I didn't this tea thing business didn't come up overnight, right? You know, she had the idea. You know, I was like, let's do this. You know, I was supporting, and then you know we would work on little by little by little, push ideas. You know, it's not like you can do it overnight, right? And it's just over time you finally get to that point where you're like, wow, all that hard work's gonna finally pay off. You know, so and that's what's important about habits. Like whether you're doing a business, whether you want to have a new PR at the gym, whether you want whatever it is, your goal, you're gonna have to take you build up the habit day by day by day, take little steps, and all that's gonna compound over time. You're not gonna go from 18 to 22-inch biceps overnight. Right? So you gotta put in that work little by little, right? And you're gonna see progress over time. And maybe you put a lot of work in the beginning, you don't see any progress, but then finally you hit that hump, and boom, I got an extra inch of my biceps, or whatever your goal. And that's something simple to talk about. But,
simple, but not so simple, because there's a lot of there's a lot of like a internal alchemy that you have to do for that, right? Like you have to be eating your protein, you have to track it. You don't have to, right? Like it could come, but like if you really want to see results, right? Like if you really want to get bigger biceps, or you want to get abs or something, or you want to be, throwing 225, like, 10 times or whatever, like it takes a lot to get there. Like it takes a lot of tracking for your macros. It takes like a lot of time inside of the gym. Like you really have to get there. You really have to develop the habit of getting there, like doing the reps. And it's a day by day thing, right? Because you're not going to go from benching 135 to benching 225 in one day. Right. If like 135 is like your max and you want to max out at 225, like that's going to take a couple of months, and it's going to take a couple of months of consistent training,
100%. Did you hear me? I was like, unless you take Super Pump 250.
Man, the good old Gasberry nutrition, Super Pump 250, baby.
That was the best pre-workout. It probably had
was
fucking good.
Man, dude, if they brought it back, I would consider getting back on a pre-workout if they brought back the Super Pump 250.
Hell yeah,
dude, or even if they made Super Pump 350. I'm down.
Dude, that stuff was crazy. I think it was probably our first pre-workout too, so it's like your body had zero tolerance to this pre-workout stuff, and it's just like, woo!
Yeah, you were going, you had like the tingles inside of like your hands and your arms. It felt like ants were like walking all up and down your body. Like it was really a beautiful experience of Super Pump 250. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
like it was incredible.
But now I keep it kind of simple: creatine, salt, and caffeine for the most part, and
Same.
then LMNT, right, as they say. Shout out. I also like put in the L-citrulline malate, like the nitric oxide or whatever they call it. I use that as well, and then that's basically all I do before I work out. Instead of taking all those crazy pre-workouts, especially when they have those proprietary blends, you don't know exactly how much of each ingredient's in there, or like what the hell else is in there anyways. And they got like the synthetic caffeine that makes my heart go a million miles an hour. So
me too.
I just can't do it, man. I drink coffee all day. I'm drinking coffee now. Like I can sleep when I drink coffee. So like I'm like immune to caffeine almost. But like when I drink that synthetic stuff, man, my body hates it. It messes me
Bro, I am the same exact way. Like when I drink and like I remember I was like, okay, I was doing like because I had a really bad experience on pre-workout. I was taking like this black magic shit, and I was actually at the gym with your brother. Like,
go back.
Yeah. But I was at the gym with your brother like 10 years ago, and I took this stuff, and at the time I was drinking like 2 monsters per day. So like I had already had like, I don't know, 500 milligrams of the caffeine androsis that they have inside of the monsters. And then I remember like on the warning label on top, it was like, don't exceed more than 1 scoop of this, right? And I was like, fuck that. I'm tired today. I'm going to take 2 scoops. So I put 2 scoops of this pre-workout inside of there. And dude, I'm telling you, I was like straight tunnel vision. Like I couldn't see like more than like if I put like my hands over my eyes, like it was a horrendous experience. I remember feeling so sick at the gym. I'm like, yo, Chris, after like one set, I was like, I have to go home because I was like, I'm really sick right now. And I remember driving home, like I couldn't see like more than like one fucking car in front of me. And I remember I was like, okay, I was like, if I just get home and I survive, I was like, I'm never taking pre-workout again. And I got home, dude. And so when I was in the military, there was like this thing that they called like the magic bullet, right? And it's like when your body overheated, what they would do is like they would tear your trousers off, allegedly. Like I never seen it happen, but like what they would do is they had this really cold like ice bullet, right? And they would stick it up your ass because this is the fastest way to like cool down your body. Because you know, when you're in California and you're in the desert, like it's like 110 degrees out there and we're running like 15-20 miles per day. We're walking everywhere. We have like no water, no food. Like it sucked, right? And so I remember getting back from the gym and I remember driving home. I was like, I'll never take pre-workout again. I was like, please God, I was like, just whoever's out there, I was like, just let me survive right now. And my heart was beating so fucking fast. Like I was like, I am about to have a heart attack right now. Nobody was at home. I remember Drennan and Susie were like out. And I remember I was just like, okay, I was like, I have to cool off my body really fucking fast. So I went inside the shower and I turned this thing on all the way cold. And I went in there. I was like, this isn't enough. So I didn't stick the thing on my ass, right? But I put the cold ass water like on my butthole.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to like cool down my body like really, really quick. And I did that and I kept it there for like a couple of minutes. And then I started like laying down and I had like this nasty like rumble in my stomach, man. Like it was like a sewage fucking factory. And I went to go take a dump, dude. And it was like, I'm not joking. This was the worst shit I've ever had in my life. And it was like I was dumping out buckets of tar. Black liquid was just shooting out of my ass, man. And I'm not joking. It was disgusting, but it was like, I remember I was like purging. It was like I was puking from my asshole. And yeah, so I don't know how we got there, but anyways, yeah. So like I was, but Super Pump 250, amazing. And I remember, but I think if they brought back Super Pump 250, I would absolutely take it again. I would consider taking it because for the most part, like I've been off of pre-workout, but I do the same exact thing as you do. I do creatine, I do LMNT, and then I do the Tungat Ali and then Fedogia agrestis. But I do that in the mornings.
Yeah. Fill your balls with a lot of cum with those suckers.
You get some mammoth testicles on you.
But were you talking about like getting messed up at the gym off of pre-workout? One time I was at Export with my brother, long ass time ago. He gave me like this thermogenic workout, like pre-workout. And like, I took it and I turned fucking pale. Sweating and my heart rate was so high and I felt like I was gonna puke and like I couldn't lift. And the same thing, I had to go home. I'm like, dude, I can't lift. I felt like I was gonna die. I'm like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I'm pretty sure. Like
Did you take one of those thermogenic pre-workouts where like heats up your body and shit?
I don't know if it was thermogenic, but I know it was called Black Magic or Black Label or something. Okay. And I remember there was a big exclamation mark on the top. It's like, don't exceed more than 1 scoop. And I'm like 2, motherfucker. I'm like, I'm lifting today. Man. And but I used to take a hydroxy cut. Those were when I was 18. I was like, I'm fat. And so I was like, I want to get abs this summer. And I remember I took it for 3 days, and that was a thermogenic. And I remember I took it for 3 days, and I remember I felt so sick. And I remember I was trying to have sex. I remember like I had a girlfriend at the time, and like we were trying to have sex, and my dick wouldn't get hard. And I was like, all right. I was like, I am done taking the. I'm not even joking, bro. Like it was.
Man,
it was nothing, dude. I was like
thermogenic stuff. But for me, it makes me hot, sweaty, angry, and like feel like I'm
angry. Yeah, it made me really angry.
Yeah, it's like I never took steroids, but it's like when people talk about steroids, it makes you angry and like short tempered. That's how I felt on like the thermogenic stuff when I took it. You know, I was just like so angry and like short tempered, and it makes you like super hot. And, like, sweaty and like I was pale. I'm like, I don't think this is good for me.
Yeah, man, I was the same way. And but caffeine androsis too, man. Like it makes me like there's something about it where like I can't tolerate it. Like there's something, the synthetic caffeine, like I can take it in the morning and then at night I'm still like racing, like I crash really hard after it, and then like when I'm trying to sleep, there's no way I'm sleeping good that night. Like for some reason, like I can't get into like deep sleep. I can't. It's hard for me to fall asleep, and then I'm waking up at night. Like it's just the worst experience ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I just every time I take that, like the caffeine, whatever how you say it, androsis, that's synthetic shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's crazy to think about like how many different pre-workouts I took throughout my life, and it's like at the end of the day, all I take is creatine, salt, and like L-citrulline malate or something. So it's like all this stuff you experiment with over time, and you just kind of find what works for you and do the research on stuff. It's like back then you just want, but it's like it goes back to like wanting quick results, right? And it's like I'll take anything if it gives me a six pack. I'll take anything if it makes my biceps 2 inches bigger. You don't do the research on it because you want that like instant satisfaction instead of like putting in the long term work, right? Where it's like you don't really need these pre workouts. You can just put in the work, like and that goes with anything. It's just stop trying to find the simple fixes and things that are simple and put in the work, right? Nothing worth having comes easy. You got to put in the fucking work, right? It's like everyone wants these simple solutions. Everyone wants everything handed to them. Everyone wants to fucking, no one wants to work for anything anymore. And it's like if you want something, work for it. And then at the end of the day, you feel so much more accomplished when you work for it. Right? I know I'm going off on like this tangent off of pre-workout, but like, if you really want something, work hard on it, right? And it's like, for me, I work out at least 5 days a week, probably almost 7 days a week sometimes. But like, it's like, because people ask sometimes I'm at the gym, oh, what do you do, that, to look like that, your body, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, consistency, discipline, that's it, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want to go to the gym, go to the fucking gym. I don't care if you want to go or not, go every single day, 5 days a week. Whoever set a goal, everyone's got different goals, right? Like whatever, but like set that goal and keep on going and make it consistent. I've been working out since I was 18, probably less than that. So like, a lot of people say, oh, it's genetics or you're born like that. I'm like, fuck no. You see my pictures when I was young, I was like, man, like especially like my brother, right? He's a little skinny skateboarder now. He's fucking the Incredible Hulk. So like, over time, all those years of working out, putting in the work, dieting. Diet's a big thing when you're working out. People don't want to do it. It's like, ever since I changed my diet, it's like mentally, physically, everything. I feel so much better. And you just got to be consistent with that because I notice like sometimes, I deviate from my diet, and like I eat some cheat meals, and all of a sudden, I notice my body feels different, my mind feels different. And if you can get your mind to think more in the present moment, you'll notice that stuff, right? Because like if you can just, when you're eating, right, notice how your body feels afterwards and all that, and then you really take appreciation for eating like whole foods that are good for you, instead of eating the processed shit that fucks you up, and it's just like because you're eating it at that moment because of the instant gratification, like the McDonald's fries, which like are so toxic to you, right? You eat them and like it feels so good in your mouth and all nice and salty.
They feel so good in your mouth.
I knew that was gonna come out. You put these fries in your mouth. It feels good in your mouth at the moment, right? But then, like, after you eat it, my body gets hot. I get like really inflamed. My belly starts to blow up a little bit. I'm like, wow, it's crazy how eating fries one time can make you feel like that, right? And if you like take time to realize how you feel after you eat these foods instead of how you feel in the moment, right? So everything's about long term, and anything. Like if you wake up in the morning, have a donut. You don't want to eat carbs when you wake up, sugar and carbs. You want to eat like rich protein, a lot of protein when you wake up in the morning. It's just like little things like that. You set those habits, right? For me, it's more than a habit. For me, it's like almost automatic. I wake up, I suck down my eggs and my Greek yogurt, and I feel good. And people are like, how do you do that? And I'm like, at first I didn't really care to do it, but now it's like I love doing it. I can't wait to suck eggs down my throat, You know, it's just, I set those habits for myself, and like I stuck to them. Right, it's just like eating high protein in the morning, and then in the afternoon I'll eat, my protein vegetable and like my carbs to give me some energy, and then I work that out at the gym, and then eat a lot of protein and fat in the evening. So I just kind of stuck to that, and that formula over time for me. I'm not saying that formula for everyone's gonna work, but that formula for me, I've seen results. Right, I feel so much better. But that goes with everything, and not just your gym routine or your physical. It's like your mental gym too. You got you journal. You want to journal in the morning, or you want to journal at night. Whatever you want to do, right? But you got to keep on doing it. So you just like for me, example, I stopped journaling for a couple weeks, and I noticed like holy crap, like I'm not thinking as clearly as I was. I'm not as like strong mentally, and it's because I stopped journaling in the morning, right? So now I just started to continue doing that again, and getting back on the habit. You got to realize when you're getting off track and stuff, and you jump back on it. But I know I kind of was talking, but too much. But
No. But I think there's a big thing that you said inside of there, and it's like it's it's the part like when you're right. It's like most people think like they think like how can I get a great body? It's unattainable for me, and that like that there's some kind of genetics that are out there for people that have these things. Kind of true, but not
yeah,
really,
right.
right? Like
I role in it, but yeah,
yeah, because like at the end of the day, like if you really just dial in your nutrition, like and I think like what the way that you described it, right? Like if you just focus on your protein intake, like if you just eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So like I'm 180, right? If I want to maintain 180, then I have to eat 180 grams of protein roughly, right? It's zero point 0.6 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. But like if you make it really simple and you just try to eat your weight in body weight or your grams in body weight, then you're on the right track, right? Then you can backfill that with vegetables and fruits and all those healthy things. But like you're right, like if you start your day with like a donut that's like loaded with carbs and loaded with sugars and like loaded with things that are just like that are so toxic for you and for your body, like it's like you can't expect your body to be working optimally. You can't expect your mind to be working optimally. Like the way you outlined it is like perfect, right? You wake up, you eat you eat some like protein in the morning, then you eat some protein for lunch and some vegetables, and like then for dinner like you eat some more protein and you backfill with like rice or vegetables or something, some clean things, right? And if you do that for like a long enough period of time, and you have like a really good workout regime, and you're really doing like hard work, you're really resistance training inside of there, you're really stacking up the weights, and you're trying to increase the load, maybe not every the load, but like you're increasing the load like that you're putting on your body either by volume or you're increasing it by the weight that you put on the bar. Eventually you're going to get the results that you want to get. You're going to get the dream outcome that you have, but you have to understand that you have to delay the gratification. And what I mean by that is like if right now instant gratification is like getting a couple of McDoubles and getting some fries and stuff, like delay the gratification for that. Just say no for this time, right? And then understand that like the desired outcome that I want for my body is these habits, right? It's going home, it's cooking the chicken, even if it's going to take 15 minutes longer. It's steaming the rice, even though it's going to take 5 minutes longer or whatever, right? And or meal prepping, right? Meal prepping like for the week or something like that. And it's or for a couple of days. But it's like if you don't do that and you're shoveling pizza and burgers and all this unhealthy stuff that and seed oils and stuff, like if you're just eating this and like this is the main component of your diet, then you're not going to get the desired outcome. You're not going to get the body that you want ever. I mean, maybe, right? If you have great genetics, like if you're some of those power lifters out there that like have incredible bodies, and they or like who is that guy? Richard Sherman, right? Who ate Skittles, or who is the guy Beast Mode on the Seahawks?
Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn.
Marshawn Lynch, yeah. So Marshawn Lynch was like really famous for like eating. He would always say like he would eat like a couple bags of Skittles per day, right? Like most people can't do that because they don't have genetics like that. Like their body just doesn't burn that much fuel. But he also works so hard You know what I mean? So like that's kind of like the reward after working so hard in practice, 2 days in the gym, then game on Sunday. Like for those type of people, like it might work, but for us, right? Like if I eat Skittles all day and like I try to work out, I'm not going to be good in the gym.
Right. No, I agree, man. It's just, I mean, the first step, like, for people to get healthy, that feel better, is just stop eating processed foods and cook at home, right? Buy whole food,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, cut out the soda, cut out the fast food. I mean, the simple stuff, right? Just don't eat the processed shit, and buy your chicken, steak, pork, your vegetables, your fruits, and start there. And then just eat real food. Don't eat stuff that's fake. Like McDonald's ain't real food, man. That's just like
Yeah. It is delicious though. It is delicious, but it's not real food.
Yeah.
And it's like and it's like it's start where you're at too, because you have to make it maintainable for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was eating seven all of my meals were at McDonald's, or like if all of my meals were like outside somewhere else, right? And I wanted to start to get healthy, I would have to start with where I'm at, right? And that might mean like if I've been doing that for like 2 years or something, that might mean just taking one day or starting with 2 days or something, right? And making sure that those 2 days I eat at home, I cook my meals, and and I do those things, right? Because making drastic changes inside of your routine is almost setting yourself up for failure.
Dude, I'm not.
Because if you make like these huge changes in like your routine, you're gonna be like, all right, I need gratification now. You're gonna eat that stuff and you're gonna love it, and you're gonna be like, fuck that diet. Like
Yeah.
that diet is shit.
100%. Like, yeah, when you're making changes to your daily routine, your daily habits, you don't want to change too much. Find your one key habit you want to change. Start with that, and then change another habit later on. Don't do everything at once. Because when I started, I tried to change everything at once, right? I just failed every time because there's too much change. You couldn't handle it. And you feel overwhelmed. So, like, for me, the biggest change in habit is, um, you know, initially it was waking up early, right? 'Cause if I wake up early, one, I feel like, okay, I'm up before a lot of people. I can get a lot done and productive, blah, blah, blah. So with changing that one habit, now I'm changing other habits. Like, oh, now I got time to journal. I got time to do my meditation. I got time to do this. So find that one key habit, I like to call key habit, that will also be the gateway to you having those other habits implemented as well, right? So change that one habit. Okay, I'm gonna wake up, 2 hours earlier than I usually do. Now I got 2 hours in the morning. Okay, now I have time to journal. I don't have to rush to work. I can meditate. I can go for a nice walk outside. I can, start my day off with a nice slow morning instead of, waking up, taking a quick shower, throwing on my clothes while I'm still wet, like hurrying up to work and running out the door and start my day off that way, right? So it's like, find that one key habit that's going to be the gateway to other habits being implemented. And for me, it was waking up a little bit earlier. That's something I've been slacking off lately, but now I gotta implement it again and get my other habits going with the journaling, the meditation, and all that, because that enables me to do so much more of what I want to do.
Yeah, well said. Well said. And I can't believe it's almost midnight right now.
The werewolves are howling.
That's crazy. I feel like we barely scratched the surface.
I know, right? I can keep on going.
I know, me too, man. But no, I mean, I really think that was a beautiful way to end it. Like I really think that like focusing on if somebody wants to make like a really big change like inside of their life, I think that's a good goal. But then start chipping away at it really slowly. Like you can't, like if you're envisioning like a marble sculpture, right? Like in order for you to make the dude that's covering his dong, or I think like the guy with like the guy that they carved out of like marble or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
um like in order for you to carve your marble, you have to start with the chisel and the hammer, and you have to start with little small pieces, and then your figure starts to figuratively, your figure will start to emerge from the granite,
Right.
once you start chipping away like really slowly at that. And that means just like incorporating small little habits. It means incorporating small changes inside of your life. It means incorporating um just little small things that you can do right now that you can stack later, right? Because you want stackable habits, because once you start developing stackable habits, right? Like for me, it's like waking up early, going to the gym, and then getting my day started. Like those are three habits that are almost every day, right? Like I do these things because like one compounds on the other, and then the rest of the day just feels easy, right? And those are my three habits that start the day. But for somebody else, it could be like, it could be something completely different, like just starting your day with breakfast, right? Like some people don't eat in the mornings, or they eat donuts or something, or they stop at Dunkin' Donuts. But it's like, hey, maybe you can, I don't know, buy some extra eggs or something, and then start cooking the eggs. And then, if you chow down like in the car or something, then you can chow down, you stop at Dunkin' Donuts and you chow down it like that. Just swap it out for the eggs. Just start with like little small things and start sculpting your marble that way.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, you said that perfectly as well. It's just, know where you want to be and know what habits you need to adopt, but find, those stackable or like the key habit that'll unlock other habits as well to get you there, right? So, in order to have that monumental life, you gotta start small. You can't just, be fucking on top of the mountain overnight. You gotta little by little, step by step, right? And you're gonna go backwards sometimes, and you gotta realize it, and then you take a bigger step forward. So you keep on going, man. That's it. You just be resilient. Keep on going. You're gonna fall back sometimes. You're gonna move backwards a little bit, but then use that as your motivation. To, like, I know I need to move forward, and perfect for me, for example, like this journaling thing. I was like, all right, I need to really get on my horse with this journaling, and now I'm disciplining myself to, like, once you wake up, the first thing you do is journal. You're not gonna go on your phone. You're not gonna you know jump in the shower. You're not gonna do anything. First thing you do is you have that book right there ready to write in, and you journal. Get that out the way, right? Set yourself up for success. Make it easy on yourself. Set your environment up, right? So, like, for me, I put my phone in the kitchen, like, so I can't look at it when I get up, first thing when I get up, right? Instead, I have my journal on the side of my bed now, and that's the first thing I'm gonna grab when I wake up. So just set yourself up too. Don't just say you're gonna do something, but make it easy on yourself. If you, for example, in that situation, if it was vice versa, if I had my phone by my bed and I had the journal in the kitchen, now the first thing I do when I wake up, I'm probably gonna, even if I want to journal in the morning, I'm gonna grab that phone and
Check
start
your phone. Yeah.
something, protecting my text or whatever. So, like, set yourself up, set your environment up for success, right? Make it easy on yourself. Don't make it hard on yourself.
Yeah, because then you start elevating your frequencies right away. Then you walk different right away. Like you feel like you've accomplished something right away. You check. It's not even a check mark, right? You just hit a big fat win, right? Like you just put a W in the column for the entire day.
Right.
Because because like you just checked in with yourself, right? And you are the most important thing. Going into like solipsism a little bit, right? Like you are the most important thing in your day, right? Because if you don't exist and like your health doesn't exist, then everything else doesn't exist, right? Like if I die, like I don't know if anything else exists, because as far as I know, my life is life as I know it. You know what I mean? Like even though there are other bodies that are out there, and there are other people and stuff, but if you check in with yourself and you're good, and you're going to start your day off like with flying colors every day, and that's a stackable habit.
Right. Yeah, man. I forgot what I was gonna say because I was listening to you so intently. But it's just you have to be there first and foremost for yourself, right? Have your mental strong, because then you can be there for everybody else, right? So, like, starting your day off, like for me, starting off journaling, meditating, get my mind right. Now I'm ready to, not only do I feel good, I got a big W, I'm feeling good for myself, but now I can walk into the office at work and be that positive energy and, like,
Yeah.
spread that positive energy, and then I feel even better about myself now, because now I'm making other people feel better. But you got to feel good with yourself before you can make others feel better, and that's with anything, right? Not just going away. That's especially in relationships. You gotta feel good about yourself. You gotta love yourself. You gotta be positive in order to, spread that energy to your loved one or whoever it is, like your kids, your spouse, your girlfriend, your parents, your brother, your sister, whoever it may be. Like, you have to have that positive energy in yourself in order to spread it, right? If you come out with negative energy, you're going to be throwing negative energy at other people, and negative energy is more contagious than anything. So, like, it's so important to, like, start your day off for yourself in a positive way, where you can just continue to spread that positivity to others, and you can just feel so good about that, right?
Yeah.
But it all starts with yourself, you know. You got to make sure your mind's right. You got the positive energy flowing. You just feel good, man. And you're just fucking spreading that energy everywhere like a fucking flinging dick on your you know? You're just spreading it over the place, man.
Spreading that energy all over the place.
But you know, it's honestly what it is. You just got to feel good about yourself, and like, you know, the things you want in life, and whatever it is. Like, don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. And you just do what you want. Go get it. Go get that shit. You know. And what someone else might not want it or see that in you, but you want it. You fucking go get it, right? And you feel good about it. You wake up every day striving for that. And you know, you just take one step closer every single fucking day. You know, it doesn't have to be a big leap. Just take a little baby step every fucking day. You keep on taking baby steps every day, you're gonna get there. You know, it doesn't matter how long it takes to get there, as long as you get there. Because once you reach that, you know, that then you feel a sense of purpose. You're reaching where you want to be. You know, just do it, and then have those habits in the morning. The first thing in the morning, then bam, I feel good. I took one step closer to where I want to be. Then the whole rest of the day just flows from there. From my point of view, I mean, everyone's a little different. Like maybe you like to do something like that at nighttime before you go to bed. Like, I'm grateful
Right.
to sleep on it, and then you wake up feeling good. Whatever works for you, right? Just adapt to what works for you. For me, I like doing it in the morning because that's not, for me, the morning's the hardest part of the day, because what I want to do, I want to lay in that fucking bed for 3 hours, right? 3 extra hours. But no, I'm gonna wake up, you know, do some things for myself, and I feel so much better. Even though I didn't at the moment, I didn't want to wake up and journal. I didn't want to wake up early and do all this stuff. But once I do it, even though I didn't want to do it, now I feel so much better, you know, because I needed to do that in order to get one step closer to where I want to be. Even though it's at that moment, I really don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was something that that when you were talking, like, you reminded me of something too, and it was like the language that you tell yourself, like when you wake up, like you need, like, if every day, like, you're telling yourself, like, when you wake up and, like, you get inside of the mirror and you're just like, man, you piece of shit, you fucking fat ass, you fucking this or whatever, like, you know, like adjusting your energy, adjusting your frequency, adjusting your day, like, it can really just start with, like, when you wake up, like, and you notice, like, you've been saying all these negative things about yourself to you, you know, just start feeding yourself, like, these positive things, right? Just start telling yourself, like, hey, you beautiful creature, like, how the fuck did the universe get so blessed and so magical on you, right? He sprinkled a little something extra on you today. And, you know, like, like, even when you wake up like that, right? And you wake up, like, because that is, like, that's breaking, like, an old routine, breaking an old habit, right? Like, it can start just there. You know what I mean? Like, it can start with, like, just the language that you tell yourself, like, you just telling yourself, hey, I love you, right? I love you for who you are. I love you for who you are today and all the shit that you did back in the day, right? Because I know that you're trying to do so much better today. And if you can show up for yourself and you can start telling yourself those things, and then you can start stacking journaling on top of that, and then you woke up a little bit earlier, you know, for the next, you know, week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, right? And then you start going to the gym or something, right? You just start to change your whole life just like that, just in a moment, right? And it can literally just start by telling yourself something different and then doing something else, like putting your phone inside of the kitchen and starting your day with journaling, or starting your day with a cup of tea instead of a cup of coffee or something, or just something different to break the routine and to get you vibrating at a higher frequency for the morning and for the day and for everybody else around you.
I like vibrating.
I got one in my butt right now.
But yeah, man, it's just, yeah, I agree with everything you fucking said, man. It's just, yeah, let's cut it.
To episode 7 was incredible. We're about to go to mid. I can't believe it's an hour and 45 minutes. Oh my god,
it's about to be midnight.
that is crazy.
Let's see, one final word. Be monumental. Don't settle for less. Live the life you want, and be disciplined enough to do it. Right? If you know an action is going to get you one step to that monumental life, do it. If you don't want to do it, fucking do it. If someone tells you can't do it, do it. You know, I don't care. Like, do it. If you think it's impossible, fucking do it. Like, you know, just keep on doing it. You know, that's what I'll say. Do it. Just do it, Nike.
Just do it, baby. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I would say, just focus on the monumental lifestyle that you want to live. Focus on a continuous self improvement. Focus on being resilient when there's a challenge in front of you, and then lean into the resistances that those challenges present, right? Because those challenges present you with the opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
And we plant the seeds inside of the soil and we give them water, and they have to push past the dirt in order for them to sprout and come to life. But then they also have all these other elements that are blasting to them. They have the water from the rain that's going all over the place, and that plant is not sure if it'll survive. And treat yourself like a plant, right? And just embrace the resilience from the hot sun, and embrace the resilience from the weather elements that are out there, and just embrace everything that life throws at you, because truly that's how you become monumental, right? And me and you are both a work in progress to be monumental, and so is everybody else. But I think everybody can get behind the idea that you have to lean into those resistances in order to become who you want to become. You have to.
Embrace the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right? That's
And just do it.
Do it.
All right, let's cut this. It's officially the next day. So, brother, I love you.
Love you too, man.
Love you so much, man. Today has been an incredible episode. And if anybody stuck around for an hour and 45 minutes, we love you.
Hell yeah. Oh, shit. We off.